Imagine an architect looking at a crumbling statue that continues to decay. He could rebuild it from scratch, but without knowing why it decayed, it will crumble again. Instead, he studies it, discovers a weakness in the foundation, then strengthens and restores it so that the statue won't crumble again. History works in the same way. If we ignore it, we risk repeating the same mistakes. If we study it, we can strengthen our future. History is one of the most valuable subjects you can learn, even if you never plan to major in it. It builds skills, sharpens understanding, and impacts every part of life. I used to think history was just dead guys and old events. I was wrong. It's full of epic stories, failed quests, and lessons we still need today. Drawing from articles from the American Historical Association and the University of the People, I've learned just how important history is. History isn't just about memorizing facts. It helps us think critically, recognize patterns, and avoid being misled. It explains why things happen and teaches us to avoid repeating past mistakes before they happen. The benefits of history are far more than you may think. It strengthens arguments and personal debates, improves skills necessary in any career, and helps us to understand the world we live in. It also gives us insight into the future. And while history often gets a bad reputation for being boring and forgettable, it doesn't have to be. So how exactly does history give you these advantages? And how can we make it something worth learning? Most of us have been on social media. Imagine seeing a crazy historical fact from a post that backs up a point you've been making it. You believe it and you share it with others, only to find out later that it's totally false. You just confidently dropped a fact in the debate, thinking you've won, only for someone to prove you completely wrong. Now you're not just embarrassed, but your credibility took a hit as well. This happens all the time. Without proper historical knowledge, we're very vulnerable to misdirection and manipulation. Whether voting, debating social issues, or making career decisions, understanding history helps you think critically and avoid being misled. In UOPeople's article, Why is History Important and How Can It Benefit Your Future?, they remark that learning and studying history grants many of the skills employers desire in their employees. Critical thinking, research, assessing information, and analyzing patterns. These are all skills applicable to any field and can greatly increase the odds of promotion. Doctors, business leaders, and lawyers all use history, whether diagnosing diseases, predicting market trends, or arguing cases. The American Historical Association reports that history majors have an unemployment rate just about half of the national average, 4.6% to 7.7%. Now, you don't need to be a major in history, but simply studying and learning history to some degree can have major benefits. History mirrors what happens today. Who we are today and what we fight for as a nation and a people are all based in history. Everything from gender equality to climate change laws all draw from historical lessons. Ignoring history means we're ignoring the very reasons and motivations behind change. The rise of AI may seem unprecedented, but history tells us otherwise. Just like the printing press revolutionized knowledge or computers reshaped industries, AI is another shift we must navigate wisely. Learning history helps us to see both the opportunities and the dangers. History can give us insight into the future, helping us to prepare and stop things before they get too bad. By taking the time to learn about past tyrants like Hitler and Stalin, we can see correlations between how they rose to power and how others may now attempt to claim high positions for selfish goals. On the other hand, we can study figures like Justinian I of the Byzantine Empire. Justinian's rapid expansion brought short-term success, but left his empire vulnerable, just like companies that overextend like Blockbuster. All that remains now of Blockbuster is the one we have here in Bend, while Netflix, its past rival, still stands strong. Whether leading a business, a team, or a nation, history teaches us that sustainability matters as much as ambition. Justinian's successes and failures can help us to understand how we personally can manage resources and bring unity to our groups. History isn't just about the past, it's about understanding the present and shaping the future. If you don't engage with it, you risk being left behind in a world where knowledge brings power. Despite these benefits, many people still see history as boring, a collection of old dates and facts. What if I told you it doesn't have to be? History is often boring because we are simply told to memorize specific dates and times. While it's helpful to know, it certainly makes any argument stronger, it misses the whole point. History is full of drama, scandals, betrayals, and epic battles. It overflows with extremely cool events that offer great lessons and wisdom. It's not nearly as important to remember that Justinian was born in 482 AD, became emperor of the Byzantines in 527 and whatnot, as it is to know how he managed his resources and balanced the unity of his people and his family. History shows cause and effect, helping us understand modern conflicts like Israel and Palestine. Throughout history, that same conflict has repeated itself for many of the same reasons. A great way to learn the themes and patterns of history is through entertainment. YouTube channels like Extra History and Oversimplified offer great overviews of historical events, their significance, and their modern relevance and correlations. Movies like Gladiator and Hamilton both humanize history and impart great lessons based on the past. Even history memes can spark curiosity. Maybe you laugh at Napoleon being short today, but the next thing you know, you're saying, hey, this guy was kind of a genius. Learning history shouldn't be a chore, and it certainly doesn't have to be. It's so easy to make it so entertaining, and you learn great skills and useful knowledge along the way. If people, especially while they're young, would take a bit of time to learn about the past and how to prevent repeating it, the world would be a much better and more unified place. Think about COVID. We've faced many epidemics and pandemics in the past, so we know a lot about what works and what doesn't. Unfortunately, we only partially thought back to some things, like vaccines, but we didn't remember others. When the next disease strikes, maybe we can be better prepared, stopping it in a matter of months rather than years, and with far less panic and conspiracy. And it's not just pandemics. Things like climate policy, AI, and international conflicts are all shaped by historical patterns. If we understand those, we can navigate the future with confidence. History doesn't have to be a boring and useless subject. It's as simple as changing the way we expose ourselves to it, learning lessons and analyzing patterns rather than simply memorizing the facts that we'll forget. History isn't simply about bygone times. It is a tool for the present and a guide to the future. The insight and skills it provides make it one of the most valuable subjects for anyone to learn. By studying history, you gain the ability to think critically, recognize patterns, and make informed decisions. It helps us to understand the present and prepare for the future. And it also helps us to avoid past mistakes. More than that, it strengthens your mind and helps you to decide for yourself what you believe. So take some time to explore history in a way that excites you. Go watch some historical videos or movies. Find a topic that you really enjoy in a style that helps you to learn. Take a class if you wish. Have fun with it. And use what you learn to make informed choices for yourself, to make the world a better place.